Hey everybody, Reef Girl here, and welcome to my channel. In the planning stages of this tank, my goal was to have corals that I could grow so they were big. So often we see frag tanks in displays. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's kind of a shame that people don't have the patience to go longer than a year before upgrading and getting bigger and upgrading and getting bigger. And in the meantime, their corals don't really get a chance to settle in and progress and grow. That's not a criticism because we all reef differently, and I understand where that comes from. But for me, I wanted to see growth. I wanted to see big corals. And that's kind of what I'm showing you now, is where my corals are in my system after about 2 years and 5 months since the very first piece of coral got put in here. My giant Duncan colony acquired as a frag in 2016. Below that, my neon green Goniopora. This thing died back to 3 polyps, and now here's how it looks 2 years later. I call this the green monster, Montipora equituberculata. This started as a 1-inch square frag that I got at Fragbox in Toronto in about 2015. Here's my Gorgonian that started as a 6-inch frag I got from the Coral Reef Shop in Burlington, Ontario. I have taken countless frags from this thing in the 8 or so years that I've had it. And my Tyree neon green toadstool that started out tiny. My zoanthids just absolutely took off here. Not to mention the citrus rhodactis that started with 3 polyps 2.5 years ago and now completely encrust this rock and are spreading all over the tank, unfortunately. 10 years ago, I acquired a 2-eye frag of the Space Invader Pectinia, and it has survived multiple tank crashes and water quality issues. This is the result of a very small frag that I rescued after a terrible tank incident, and that was 3 years ago. So these things do grow quickly if you let them. I got this war coral from Fragbox about 10 years ago as a small frag. It does not disappoint. The growth is slow but steady. I've only had this Jingle Bell Cyphastria for maybe 3 years, but as you can see, it grows really fast. That bump is the original frag. This Ulaphilia crispa is the star of my maze brain garden that I have in the front right corner of my tank. I got this one at Big Al's from Kitchener, and it started out about the size of a grapefruit. It is now the size of a melon. It is amazing and beautiful. This Raja Rampage became massive in no time. This started as a small frag I got from a fellow hobbyist about 2.5 years ago. Here's a quick side view of the Duncan colony in natural sunlight. This minty green Colastria, also known as candy cane coral, is 1/2 of a huge colony that I accidentally broke apart. The other half is further down in the tank, but this thing absolutely loves where it is now. After highlighting some specimens of coral that I've had for longer periods of time, plus a few that I haven't had that long, here's a sense of perspective as to where they are in the tank. As you see this video, you'll notice there are lots of other large corals that I didn't include in the highlights. And this gives you an idea of what is going on here. I didn't think it would only take just over 2 years to completely fill this tank, but that's what's happening. So I guess that's a little bit of encouragement. If you want to get big corals and you want to get yourself a big tank, it won't take long to fill it up. You just need some patience. Well, I guess I should qualify that by saying you also need to stay on top of your water parameters. Do a lot of testing. If you see something you don't like, the first thing you do is test and see if you can figure out what's going on with it. Once you know what your numbers are, you can make a decision about whether to do anything, and if so, exactly what to do. I never, ever do anything without testing first so that I can get a sense of what is going wrong, where, and maybe even why. I've been getting a lot of requests for a tank update, so that's why I put this video together. If you enjoyed it, why not give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do have other videos coming. I'm starting to get back to making them. I really do enjoy it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, everybody.